So there's some new Keith Lee drama that is taking over the internet, and now people are trying to say that either he or someone else tried to scam using his name.
Are you serious?
So this situation actually starts from another situation where someone else got scammed a little earlier this year. Now, earlier this year, Keith Lee had this big drama that happened in Dallas, where there was this food truck lady he tried to promote like he always does, and apparently he left like a $4,000 tip for like a hairdresser, a barber that he had come up there. There was like a girl doing hair, there was a guy cutting hair, and then the girl that was doing hair also was serving, and then he was also paying for plates for people. So Keith Lee left like a $4,000 tip.
That's nice.
So that the owner could feed I think like $1,000 was for like the owner to feed more people. Then also gave her a tip on top of that. And then like $1,000 went to this person, $1,000 went to this person, or was supposed to go to this people. Keith Lee swiped it all on his card when he paid for his meal or when he made a payment. And the lady who owned the food truck kept all the money.
No, she didn't.
Now, the lady who kept all the money, because the girl who was doing hair is actually a really big TikToker. So she has a huge following and exposed her. So this blew up on the internet, and Keith Lee's name was being thrown around. The entire city of Dallas went mad. The lady's business got ruined. Her son got on the internet trying to defend. It was just a whole show. And the lady tried to lie and finesse her way out of it, but all it did was make it worse. So fast forward now, right? Keith Lee's been doing this thing. Now, according to the son, he's saying, hey, my mother was reached out to by Keith Lee, and Keith Lee wanted to basically come back and fix what happened because her business had got destroyed. She was saying that she was ready to take her life. She was depressed. Everything was ruined. So according to the son, Keith Lee reached out, wanted to fix it.
Okay.
Let me show up again. Let me do another pop-up. Let's do this the right way. I'm gonna give you another chance. Pay for the hairdresser, pay for the barber, do all that, and I'll come promote the restaurant.
Aww.
Well, apparently none of that happened. And then the mother and the son came out and tried to say, well, Keith Lee scammed us. He was supposed to come. He didn't come. We fed all these people for free. We paid the barber that he wanted us to pay. We did this, we did that, and he never shows up.
Dang.
And so this is the son talking about it. And so he's going to produce his information, his evidence, and then I'll tell you why the story even gets crazier after.
Okay.
It's the owner of Sweetie Caesar food truck, and since Keith Lee came and visited, her entire world has been changed. Y'all know my mom is the owner of Sweetie Caesar food truck, and since Keith Lee came and visited, her entire world has been changed. She gets nonstop harassment, phone calls, day and night, death threats, all that stuff. But this latest stunt resulted in her attempting to take her own life last night. So long story short, she sends an email to Keith Lee, and she kind of lets him know what happened since his visit. 2 days later, she gets a message saying, this is on behalf of Keith Lee and his family. We want to come out and pay your food truck for the visit. We're sorry about what happened last time, and let's, bring all the parties together.
Now, before I continue, you have to know, because you don't know this, they are the bad guys.
Exactly.
Him and his mother are the ones that took the money out of the poor people's faces. So they rightfully so got canceled.
Okay.
So, now it's sad that, she lost her business, lost everything because of her bad decision making and her ability to have integrity and character. But I just want you to have this in your mind. This is sad when he's telling the story, but also they did this to themselves.
They are the Stillers.
And come up with another resolution.
And also, when you know that, then when you hear this story, it doesn't make a lot of sense because Keith Lee stood on that. And if anybody knows Keith Lee's personality, once he stand on something, he's standing on it.
He don't move.
It ain't even a conversation. If he say no, I wouldn't ask him twice. You know what I'm saying? So not only that, but this was a big situation. This thing went viral on TikTok, YouTube. Keith Lee is the biggest food blogger in the world and is one of the biggest creators in the world right now. So even for him, he could have just been being nice, but he ain't got nothing to apologize for. And I don't see him giving a woman who operated like that another chance when there are so many other people who are more deserving. That's his personality. I feel like he focuses on the positive and trying to do whatever is going on with this messy nigga on this negative side. So we'll continue. But I just wanted to give context.
So she was in contact with Keith Lee the entire time, planning everything. The only thing that he asked her to pay for was a barber. He was like, if you pay the deposit for the barber, it's only $300. I'll in return pay for food for 3 hours free for everybody in the community. And she gave away free food for 3 hours, and we're looking up after every A couple hours go by, we're like, hey, the barber hasn't shown up. Or, I'm like, what time did Keith Lee say he was getting here? She was like, well, he said him and his team will get here around 2:45. I'm like, what's 3:45? Like, why is he late? She's like, I don't know. She's trying to contact him. He's like, the plane just landed an hour ago. Everybody, we're all together. We'll be there. So we're still giving out free food and, just waiting. Y'all, Keith Lee never showed up. The barber never showed up. It was all a scam.
So this is my thing. At this point, you haven't talked to Keith Lee on the phone. You haven't talked to none of Keith Lee's team on the phone. Last time y'all set this up, weren't you in better communication with him?
Yeah, so this is all through email.
Yes, and later on text messages as well.
Okay.
And he's gonna show the messages, because what ends up happening is a lot of people on the internet start believing, and I don't know if this is true or not, I'm not saying this is what happened, but start believing that he was the one that scammed his own mama. Because it doesn't make any sense. The entire thing about how now to also be fair, maybe mom and he were just so desperate at this point that all the logical things that are supposed to go through your head as this is happening, doesn't ring a bell. But also, I just feel like if this person already came to your establishment, like even if it's not a good relationship with, I've met you in person, we know each other, we've had a full conversation, spent 4 or 5 hours with you, we had a whole thing on the internet. During none of this time, we gonna talk on the phone. Like, I should be able to know if I'm talking to the person I think I'm talking to.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I know Keith Lee is big and that can make it harder, but it just seems strange to me. But he would go on because he started getting called out and then try to show everybody the proof of the messages, because people wouldn't believe in none of this when he was telling them what happened. And Keith Lee didn't say anything at all responding to it. And at this point, this man was claiming Keith Lee scammed him. Him and his mom believe at this point that this is coming from Keith Lee, not like a stranger, zero person. So he goes on, and this is what happened.
She gave away all the money she spent on all the food that has to mine. She seemed fine last night. She sent Keith Lee an email. On Sunday night, she got this message. It said, hello. On behalf of Keith Lee and the family, we would like to offer a new visit to your food truck. This could help rebuild your food truck. We also would like to bring the parties of the last incident together to rectify the issue and hope to change the narrative. We should stick together as black people.
And this is why people were saying that something was fishy, because how did this person because obviously Keith Lee had nothing to do with this.
Right.
We don't have to second guess that.
Okay.
We know that Keith Lee had nothing to do with this. He's not doing none of this. This was not him. He ain't got the time to be scamming you $300. And just at the BET Awards, I'm pretty sure. And damn sure not doing all of this for $300. He could have just charged you to come out. Like that. And this is the other thing. If he just needed money, he could charge everybody. He don't charge nobody. If anything, he brings money to these establishments. So we know Keith Lee ain't do this. So it seems strange that you send what you believe to be his email, and then you get this message and you just start having this conversation and you don't know who the hell you're talking to.
Not at all.
Because it didn't say that I'm Keith Lee. Like, you know what I'm saying?
It says on behalf of
Keith Lee. Like the fuck? Did you do this last time?
Exactly.
Of course not.
Will do anything. They respond first. Let's say today I'll actually stay for a few hours, but this needs to be handled with care. We don't want everybody posting videos before I'm there to protect my family. We can start live streaming once the event is started to protect my family. I don't want advanced promotion, meaning I don't want people to know I'm coming. Is that okay? What day works for you? And my mom responds, I promise no one will know. And I have a new location downtown Garland. I will have to call tomorrow to see if I can still get the spot. They respond, okay, let's confirm a date and time. Next, I want to bring in a barber and hairstylist, and I will put the bill to give out free food for at least 3 hours. Can you contribute towards paying the barber, and I will pay for the food for 3 hours and the hairstylist? I got a barber and a hairstylist in mind. I just want to know, can you at least contribute towards paying the barber? He's a pretty reasonable guy. He does events for $700.
But also, that sounds scammy as hell. But the problem is, if I was going to pay for food, I wouldn't give you a time limit. I'd give you a dollar limit, because it's Keith Lee. So 3 hours could be $20,000. Like, you know what I'm saying? You ready to get busy. Like, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, it just sounds silly. Something sounds fishy. So again, everybody is saying that he's the one that did it. They believe in it because they're like, maybe your mama really was doing bad, you doing even worse, and you needed $700, and this was how you decided to get it out of her. You know what I'm saying? Now, of course, it could just be a stranger, but the timing of it just seems strange. And if this person was going around using Keith Lee's name to scam people, you wouldn't be the only one saying this. Or are you the only person that got scammed? How did they get your mama's number? You get what I'm saying?
That'd be fine, because I honestly have nothing right now. And he was like, yes, perfectly, that would work. So then my mom says, I should be texting you tomorrow, and thank you so much for the opportunity. I promise I won't let you down. So I believe in you. Good night. They respond with more details, and then he sends over the barber's information. So the barber wasn't really responding, so she contacted him to let him know, like, what you want me to do about this? I'm trying to send him money, and he won't respond. So then Keith Lee responds that he got a hold of Justin and that he was cutting the rapper Future's hair. So then she sent them over the payment. So there's the $300 she sent to the barber. So then she sends over a proof of the event flyer for Keith Lee to confirm, and he says it looks great. So then the day of the event, yesterday, what's going on? Hey, are you coming? Yeah, I am. Where the people supposed to be doing hair? He said they are with me. Plane landed an hour ago. What's ETA? No response. Whole time these messages getting sent, free food was given away. I thought the Barbs and the Beehive was bad. The Keith Leets are the worst.
So again, it looks fishy. It sounds fishy. The story don't sound good. Sounds like bullshit. I mean, and I get it. The guy's messaging you the whole time. It sounds, and I mean, honestly, that's how people get scammed. To be honest, it is you wanting to believe this is real. People really don't scam you. They let you scam yourself.
You're desperate.
You're desperate. You need this. You're looking for hope. This is an easy solution. It's also the art of sales. When someone is in pain, they will usually spend whatever amount of money they need to spend to stop that thing from happening.
Right.
So her pain was, my restaurant is dying, $700, spend whatever you need, please save me. And it's also just a weird amount of money to scam somebody for.
$300.
So it started off at $7, then it's $3. So I mean, like, it's also weird because he said it was $7, but you only sent $3. I don't know. It's very weird. Or maybe they were gonna pay the rest in person.
I don't know.
So he was just scamming you for a deposit. Again, we know this ain't Keith Lee. Something is fishy.
Yeah, Keith Lee won't ask for money.
And then also, usually, if I'm sending you somewhere else to pay, a guy so that I can scam you, I'm gonna make sure that other number answers so I can scam you quickly. I'm not gonna make you hit me back so I can then scam. You know what I'm saying?
Again, yeah.
It does look fake. If anybody can try.
Now, this is where it gets even more silly. People was charging him up and saying, what was the number that he messaged you from? Work tablet 110788263 at iCloud. That does not sound like a Keith Lee email to me. You think anybody from his team doing business at work tablet?
These random numbers, work tablet.
I don't monitor my mom's phone all day. I got my own life, my own business. I don't have time for this, but this, it does look fake. If anybody can track this, contact them. I don't know, but that's where all the messages came from. This is the Cash App. The $300 was sent for the deposit. The total was $700 to $750, I believe, but they wanted a deposit of $300. See, for Sweetie Season event deposit to Justin the Great. And of course, she requested a refund, reported it as a scam, and filed a dispute with the bank. The only thing I don't have is the original email that she sent to Keith Lee. But I don't really want to contact her right now. I want to at least give her a day to kind of not talk about this and think about.
Did he just admit that the contact looked like a scam? He just admitted that, right?
Well, his mama was doing all this talking to Keith Lee at the time, but also, like, my thing is, he's been a part of this since day one. Even though it was his mama who did the thing, he was very vocal. He got a name for himself on TikTok by trying to defend it, and he ended up getting a lot of the hate as well, because of course he was a part of it as well when his mom did that to those people. And so, number one, who is Justin the Great that you just sent this money to? That should have been a red flag, because I guess Justin the Great is the barber, but if you got his Cash App, you should be able to find him. Again, I don't understand why he would lower the scam amount at the last minute. It's just, all of it seems very strange to me. And look, maybe he didn't do it, and maybe he has nothing to do with it, and maybe his mom just got a scammer, just decided to slide on her, and that's what happened. But also, you should have thought about that before you assumed that Keith Lee was the one that did it, because I believe that when he first started talking, and even to this point, to like his second video, he was still trying to act like, or was talking like, Keith Lee had led him and his mama on and left him hanging, when that never happened at all. You just got scammed. And so, at the very least, you should clear that up and make it clear, like, bro, this man didn't scam you for $300.
Come on now. That's what I just said. That's why I called that out. Like, come on now. Like, you should have cleared it up by the end of this video. You should have cleared it up and said, hey, this does not look right. I know this is not Keith Lee. You know who it is? It's called karma. That's what that is.
Facts. And now you're dealing with it. And so I think that is the reason why, again, your mom and your business is in the state that it is in, because you have a problem with taking accountability. And even in this situation, there's no accountability. Keith Lee ain't had nothing to do with this. Y'all should have knew it was a red flag when y'all thought that Keith Lee was coming back. I knew this nigga. I don't know nothing about Keith Lee. Y'all knew. Y'all were followers. Y'all should have known. There's no way. Now, maybe he would be sad, but even if he did come back, I just can't see it because y'all handled that so badly. And even to the end of it, they stood on their 10 toes and never, from what I saw, and I could be wrong because we covered it, but I didn't cover it forever. So maybe there was videos that came out later. But during that time, none of them took accountability. They were standing on their 10. They never wanted to come off the money. They, were being asked. Even when Keith Lee eventually did address it. So, that's the reason why Dallas as a whole turned on this business.
Yeah.
And you made the entire city look bad. And it's one of those towns where you do that to your name in that city and you're dead.
And you are totally right, because in the very beginning, he was like, oh, ever since Keith Lee visited us, my mom has been down. Our business has been drowning, like Keith Lee did something to them.
Keith Lee gave you the biggest look, and he even liked the food, but gave you the biggest look that you could have ever asked for, and you fumbled it by being greedy. That's all you did. You fumbled it by being greedy. And I don't know why you thought that wasn't gonna come back to bite you. You had to be a really silly person. But anyway, that's our Keith Lee take. We'll let you know if any more information comes out about this. It seems like for the most part it has been resolved, unless the internet digs up some more information, because like I said, I saw some videos claiming that maybe he was the culprit. I don't know if I believe that, but at this point I don't put anything past anybody on the internet, so I would not be surprised. But again, it is sad to see someone's business fail, but it also is a lot easier for me to handle when I know that realistically you did it to yourself.